Hey everyone, this is Derek Tangredi here, and I just wanted to walk you through how to make virtual manipulatives for really any class, but I'm going to show it in a coding context here using Google Slides. So no matter what subject you teach, this can be really handy. So you're making interactive content for your students. So all you really need for this is a blank slide presentation. So if you want to go to Google Slides and open up just a blank slide, and I changed the layout to a blank layout. So you can do that just by where you see here on my screen where there's background layout and theme. You click layout and select a blank slide. So what I'm going to do first in order to make multiple manipulatives is I am going to insert a shape. Now there's multiple ways to do that, but how I like to do it for me, I click on this little shape icon just here where I'm like kind of toggling through. So if you click on that, you'll see that there's options for shapes and arrows. I'm for now going to use arrows. So I'm just going to select the right arrow and I'm going to click and drag one onto my page. So you can specify the size and you'll get more familiar with this as you do it. But now I have this arrow. I'm going to change the paint color by just using the fill color icon. And I'm going to make it red just so it's a little easier to see. And now I have my one arrow. So my whole point of this video is what would happen if I needed students to have multiple arrows so like we can code or do unplugged coding challenges or spatial navigation. We're teaching French navigational directions. We're using math manipulatives, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But how do we make multiple of these? So what we're going to do is you are going to click on it on your arrow. And if you right click on it, you'll have the option just to hit copy. And when you do that, then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep pasting it, but I'm going to use the Command or Control V button to paste. And I'm going to do this more times than what's needed. So I'm going to paste and it's going to create this like kind of pattern for me. And that's doing it automatically. I'm not moving it there. It's just setting it up that way. That's the default. And now notice I'm going to, with my cursor, click off of this. So you can see all my arrows. What I now need to do is I need to group them and align them so you can't tell that there are multiple arrows underneath. So what's going to happen, I'm going to click and highlight the entire group. So notice I've done that. Now they're all highlighted. And then I'm going to right click. And I have the option when I scroll down where it says align horizontally. So when I move over to that arrow, I'm going to align horizontally by the center. So it's going to basically center all of my arrows for me. And when I click it, then it does. Now, if I want to do that again, I still have to do that again, rather. I'm going to click off because I unclicked to highlight the group. I'm going to right click again or two finger tap on a trackpad. And this time I'm going to scroll down to align vertically. And I'm going to say place them over the middle. When I do that, now notice I have only it's showing really one arrow. Now, when it's on this feature, it's kind of nice because you can still move this to where you want to place it on your page. So I'm going to like move it closer to my left-hand corner and you'll see maybe later why. But when I off click, just so you can see how this works, now if students ever needed multiple arrows to use for any given reason, or if this were a dice or a Cuisenaire rod or whatever it may be, now students can just click and drag and they have as many of those arrows as you place in the copy and paste. So you've really just created multiple manipulatives. And it can be very tedious to do this manually and try to move them back. And it doesn't look as crisp and clean either. So let's just do that one more time quickly, just so you can see, and then we'll add in the grid and a legend so you can start to make your own coding questions. So I'm going to click on the shape. I'm going to find an arrow. This time I'll use a different arrow. So I'm just going to pick down arrow. I would normally do them more sequentially. So here's my arrow. I always like to change the color so it's more distinctive for students. So here it is. I'm going to right click and hit copy. And then I'm going to do Command or Control V multiple times, more than I think I need. And I've got a lot of clones now. I'm going to click off and highlight the group. I'm going to right click and I'm going to scroll down to where it says align horizontally and place that in the center. And then I'm going to right click and align vertically through the middle. Okay, and now when I click on this, I have to be careful that first time. And I'm going to move it over here. Oh, and see, I moved the cloner. And that's why you want to, so what I can do, even actually when I did that, is I can actually now, I can edit undo. And so when I align vertically through the middle, now that it's still highlighted, this first time is the best chance to kind of move it, is there we go. So now what I could do is if I wanted to make a grid, say I only wanted to use right and down arrows, which is possible, I'm now going to insert a table. So I'm going to go to insert up at the top, and I'm going to scroll down to, sorry, where it says table. And this is where you can just build whatever kind of array you want. 4x4 is pretty clean and standard, but I like to have a little more options. So like sometimes a 5x5 is really valuable. And now you can start moving this if you want. You could make these smaller if you wanted the boxes a little smaller, but just for simplicity's sake, don't mind the aesthetics. I'm just going to hit enter each time once just to make it a little bigger. I could technically like shrink this down if I wanted, just so I have like a grid system. And now I might want to make a legend. So how I would make a legend is I just click on the shape icon. And I usually just use the shape, and I go into, I think it's the oval. So the second one in, or rounded rectangle, sorry. So I click here and I just place it over top those cloners I made. And now notice they're kind of covered up. So what I do is I right click on this shape, I hit order, and I hit send to back. And that will bring up your cloners to the front. And now you've successfully created any situation you need to make infinite cloners in any subject. So I hope that's really useful for you.